And welcome back to episode 59 of the Hit the Showers podcast presented to you by the Foolproof Entertainment Network. As always, I am your host, Clifford Jordan Jennings, and I got my family in the building. Michael Reggie, what's poppin'?
Going on, sir? The coach is in.
You know? As always, we got the lovely Britt in the building. What's good with you?
Hey.
You know, let's go. So, of course, we are here to talk football this evening. And before we get into a couple preseason things I want to touch on, I want to ask the question. So, of course, Aaron Rodgers is back for his last season with Green Bay. Do we think he can get it done this year, is the question.
Man, that's an interesting question. I think that despite Aaron's recent antics, well, he can always get it done. Let me say that. He can always get it done. But, the question is, what type of effort is he going to have going into this year that he knows is his last year? So my thing is, I think he's going to come into it giving it 110%. But if something happens, if anything happens to where, around mid-season or later, things aren't going his way as far as, what the coaches are telling him, et cetera, I think that 110% is going to drop down to 80%.
Okay.
I will actually bring up the kind of I don't want to call it a counter argument, a counterpoint.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
What does the locker room think of him at this point?
Right.
Are they going to play for him? If I were his offensive line right now, I'm like, fuck this dude at this point. He clearly doesn't give a shit about us. Nah.
I mean, but I'm sorry, bro. I don't mean to cut you off. I just want to say to that, though, that's kind of like blaming the kids for, the parents arguing. It's like, that don't got shit to do with you. That could have something to do with what he's been saying, contract, getting new people in. That doesn't have nothing to do with you. So if this is your last year to possibly go at a chip with one of the best quarterbacks to ever do it, you gonna block.
I think that they will be on his side.
Your expectations are higher, so
that could be.
I think they will be on his side. I think most of the players are going to be on his side. We kind of seen that with Devontae Adams. I mean, he basically came out and was like he supports Aaron 100%. Now, the people who I think won't be on his side will be those newer players, the players that probably came in the past couple years, the ones that he wanted input on with the draft picks.
No doubt.
Those would be the ones that probably won't necessarily be for him, but I think the majority of the team will be on his side.
I think that locker room is a ticking time bomb. I mean, at the end of the day, exactly for the reason you just brought, Britt. He said that he felt he didn't have influence, and that means there are people there that know who he is talking about.
Right, basically you're saying you're shitty. Like, yeah. I wanted you replaced. I couldn't get it done. It's like Kyle Kuzma and them when LeBron traded all the players away, and it was like, right. You keep me because you like me, or you just have somewhere to offload me at the moment.
Right.
That's what. But listen, I think opposite. I'm gonna go against y'all on this, and I'm gonna say this is his best year to do it.
And it's his only year to do it at this point.
Well, right. No, fair. Very fair point there. But the only reason why I say that is
he's not Tom. He doesn't sit in the pocket and pick people apart. Rodgers takes shots because he is somebody that finds a way to make things happen, very much like his predecessor, in the sense that he will put himself in harm's way and throw that ball back across the field off his back foot while he's getting lit up. And he's not Brady in that regard. Brady sits in the pocket and doesn't take a ton of shots.
Right.
Especially with, the fact that quarterbacks have to wear dresses these days. And I don't mean that offensively.
I know what you mean. Well, maybe you're right, Mike. Maybe it is the line. Maybe it is the line that he's talking about. Like, these motherfuckers is the ones I wanted to replace. And y'all ain't getting me a line. So I mean,
don't know. Generally when a quarterback's bitching, I'm not saying they don't bitch about skill players. Generally, it's about you're not giving me enough up front to give me time to do what I need to do.
Right.
Now, I don't know if he is on record in terms of like what positions he was talking about, or anything like that. But I mean, generally, if a quarterback is complaining, having been a high school coach for, 13, 14 years now, it's because they're getting lit the fuck up.
Right. I disagree with that part. I think Aaron wanted a say in who his receivers were. Because remember, he didn't have anybody. And I mean, they picked up Devontae Adams, but there was a little stretch there where they were a good team with no good receivers. And they would probably get rid of the receivers that he actually liked, like Jordy Nelson. I think they sent him to the Raiders or something like that. But I mean, what's the other guy? Randall Cobb. I mean, these are people that I felt like he felt he could do something with, and they were sending them elsewhere. So I think it wasn't just the line. I think it was his receivers too.
No, and I'm not. And again, I have no idea. I have no idea who he is talking about when he makes those comments. What I am saying is, from my experience, is quarterbacks bitching about other people on the team are almost exclusively about their line or about a running back or a receiver. The only time running backs and receivers really come into the mix is if they can't learn the system or they can't execute to the system.
Right.
At the end of the day, and I may be shooting myself in the foot here because I do think that that my team has a wide receiver that made a difference. But typically, a wide receiver ain't making the difference in terms of a good team versus a bad team.
What
they can be an additional component, but it's very hard for a receiver alone to be a game changer.
Well, I don't think he's thinking between a good team and a bad team. I think he's thinking between making the playoffs and making the Super Bowl. Winning the Super Bowl, yeah.
I hear you.
So in that particular case, I think he needs his receivers for sure. For sure.
Nah, but I think he does. I think this is his best bet. We all know that it's hard to repeat in the NFL. You don't just see that happen. So I think it's going to be a lot tougher for the Bucs to just come out of the NFC. I think that Green Bay could slide out there. Of course, the NFC West is a little tighter with the Seahawks, Cardinals, and the Niners. I think that they all could do something this year. And then I really only see Dallas or Washington coming out of the, what is that, the North? No, that's not the North. Is that the South? No, that's the East. What is that?
Sorry, what?
The division.
Where you were.
I don't even know.
The Redskins. I mean, the Redskins,
Washington, and
Cowboys.
Yeah, I said Redskins, Washington. Yeah,
because it don't sound right being like Washington. Like,
hold up.
That's the NFC East.
The East.
Cowboys, Washington,
Giants.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's only going to be Washington and the Cowboys coming out of there. Both of them are beatable teams. The West, as tight as it is, I think that
don't sleep on the Cowboys. Don't sleep on the Cowboys.
I still think they're beatable.
I mean, I've heard that for years.
Yeah, I still think they're beatable. They kind of
I don't know. I got a funny feeling about them this year.
What? When was the last time the Cowboys were relevant?
Aikman?
No. When you say relevant, as in what? Because they were relevant. Not this past year, but the year prior.
I mean, but Romo was never going to be the guy to get anything done. I understand people like Dak or whatever, but again, relevancy.
I think he still has time. I'm
not saying he doesn't. I just don't. And maybe it's just being anti-Cowboy because of the Cowboy fans I have in my life. But same with the Steelers. I feel the same way about them. But
you know what I think it is? I think that we've gotten
F the Steelers.
We listen to the end of time. I think we've gotten spoiled with the talent level that's been coming out to the point that the rookies have been doing so much that when you look at a player like Dak Prescott, it's kind of like, well, why haven't you broken through yet? Why haven't you hit your NFL puberty? And I think that for players like that, it does take a little bit more time for it to click. You know what I mean? It doesn't click in college or in your first season of the NFL. It takes a little bit to understand it, especially coming off this injury. I'm pretty sure he's going to play a little bit more passive, which means more time in the pocket.
Yeah.
Now
you think so?
I think so. I don't think he's going to be quick to just take off like that, especially when he knows that just happened like freaked, like he didn't even have to take a hit to get hurt. Yeah, I think he's going to be a little worried before he crosses that line, like Akon said.
Man, I think he's going to go full go this year. I think he has something to prove. I think that he is going to not hold back at all.
I think that's Rodgers.
It might be both.
I think Rodgers is going to come out slinging because he like, I don't give a fuck about what y'all say. I'm out this bitch next year. I'm slinging. Then at the same point, you don't know that the next team you go to, you may have the same opportunity to make it as far. So you better sling it this year. You have no choice.
Man, he ain't going nowhere that's not a contender. Like, same way Brady wasn't going anywhere that wasn't a contender. He's not going. So the team that he goes to next year will have the chance to make it that far.
Still has to fit.
Right.
We already chose his team for him. Remember?
What was it? What we said?
The Titans.
We did say the Titans would be a nice fit.
The Titans. He needs to go play for the Titans.
And I do agree with that statement.
The slipper is going to fit because he is going to have the ability to be a master of his own destiny. Sit down with the team, talk. He already going to know what the personnel is for the most part.
Nigga.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, like I said, same way Brady weighed his options and picked the team he thought was best for him. I'm sure Aaron Rodgers knows what's best for him as well. And he will pick a contending team that he is getting ready to make a Super Bowl contender.
But the difference, and this may be to both of y'all's points, is Aaron Rodgers strikes me as a gambler. He plays like it. He plays like he's willing to put it all on black, or
that's why the comparisons between him and Favre. Like, and it goes back to exactly what I was talking about earlier. He's not afraid to throw off his back foot while he's hit across the field.
Right. And so I think that could translate to your decision making as well, where you gamble on something that may not, come to fruition for you.
I don't think he's going to gamble with
if he wants out that
I don't think he would gamble with that move, because this move, I don't think he's going to gamble with something that's going to like make or break him. And his next move, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
So you don't think
absolutely?
You don't think? I mean, he got one ring,
one or two, right?
That's what I'm trying to look at.
Yeah, I don't think he has to. He may, but I don't think he has to. But I mean, you don't think his legacy is cemented at the moment?
Oh, I think his legacy is cemented, but at the same time, you got to remember, like, I don't think his legacy is cemented for him. I don't think there's anything that he can. Right. Yeah, I don't think there's anything that he can do to not put him up there in the talks of some of the great quarterbacks if he went downhill from this point. But at the same time, I don't think he's done yet. I don't think he's looking at it like that. I don't think he's looking at himself like he's done. I think he's looking at himself like, I still got some more in the tank. Right. I feel like I can still get at least one more Super Bowl. I think he feels confident he can get one more Super Bowl. Maybe even more, but I feel he feels good about possibly getting at least one more.
No, I agree there. I do agree there. And I think he has and it's ironic because they both play in the same era, but I think he has the LeBron syndrome where it's like, I have to chase my predecessor who just so happens to be Tom Brady. And if I don't get another one at old age, they're not going to be counting that one I got back when up to the 7.
And I did confirm Rodgers only has one.
Yeah,
he just has one. Okay.
He is not an all-time elite quarterback. Don't get me wrong. I think he is one of the best quarterbacks of probably the last decade. But if you're looking all-time, rings
it's
one.
A lot of people that erase it.
The problem is his peer group is ridiculous. And as much as I hate to say this name, between Roethlisberger and Brady, two of the guys I hate the fucking most in the NFL, like, he's in the same peer group as those two. And so comparatively speaking, like, maybe he's top 3. I would actually argue Eli and Peyton would fall into the same group, although they were towards the ends of their careers as Rodgers came in. But
see, I don't think that
both are. Eli has 2 rings. You got more than Rodgers does.
It gotta be more than just that, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, because
does it? Because the history books
okay, so
Eli was there.
No, you're
Eli
right.
Got beat too.
You're right. The rings are important. I'm not saying that the rings are very important, but if he gets, my thing is this: I think Aaron Rodgers is a way better quarterback than Eli at any point in time. And if he does happen to get that second ring, it's not even going to be a comparison. Like people will look silly bringing up Eli. Is Eli better than Aaron Rodgers? That's not even going to be a question. You know what I'm saying? So I don't even like the comparison now for real, because I don't feel like he's on his level. But there was something I was going to say as far as Aaron Rodgers. I think that's the thing, though. We're talking about the rings, and I think that's Aaron Rodgers' biggest thing. He felt like he had the potential to get more rings if he had more of a say in what was going on by keeping the players around him that he knew or he felt comfortable with.
I'm sure Marino and Elway felt the same way. Like,
but Elway got 2, didn't he?
He did end up with 2, yes, late in his career.
Look at Kurt Warner, though. That's what I'm saying when we talk about like the youngins coming up slinging the ball and then your Dak Prescotts. Some players, it just takes a while for me to develop and for it to click to where I'm on now. And I think that we do have a couple sleeper cells in the league that haven't quite turned on to their full capability. Who out of those? I honestly think that Kyler can turn it up a little bit more. I think he hadn't reached anywhere near where he's gonna be. I'm rooting for Tunga Vailoa, but I mean, I know it's in him. You know what I mean? Like, it's in him. He's just not performing to the ability quite yet. Kind of how did you see anything? And I wanted to get into this later, or well, I'll wait just a little bit because I think Kylie's joining now. But some of the rookies show me that, like, where it's like you're just not quite comfortable.
Yeah,
that's all it is. You have it in you. You know you can throw the pass. You know you have the same amount of time you had in college. You just look uncomfortable because you know the scenery has changed around you.
Well, it's the scenery and it's the overall speed. And
right.
You can say all you want that they have the same amount of time that they did in college.
A lot of them did. Well, no, not this. Listen, no, you are correct, because this first week of preseason, damn near every rookie got sacked like the first play of the game. Their first.
I mean, we loved seeing Trevor Lawrence get sacked, right? Or is that just?
No, I didn't mind it either. I mean, I am kind of rooting for him a bit, though. I just don't.
I don't know.
And he's one of the ones I was talking about where we know you got it, but he looked so uncomfortable in that game. Like, he just did not look like he was ready to be in there.
No, he wasn't.
And it eased up a little bit, but not enough. Right. Not enough. And it makes you question, like, is he ready? Like, is he ready to lead the team? Because you have no other option.
Right.
And going into this situation, not being ready kills, like, your market value, right? Because you are the undefeated guy coming out, like the guy that only lost 2 games out of high school and college type shit. Then you come to the Jags and you can't keep your composure. And nobody's expecting you to go undefeated, but we do expect you to be that same quarterback in Jacksonville. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And I mean, at the end of the day, one, I give rookie quarterbacks, especially the first couple.
Where is Clemson? Alabama?
South Carolina.
South Carolina. See, that's why I didn't say it. I was like, I don't know where that's at. I'm sorry, what we said?
No, I mean, it'll be interesting to see how he handles what will probably be multiple losses in the preseason. They will probably lose every single one. And how does he handle it from a mental, emotional, confidence, all of that? Because he's not skilled in it, because he's not really experienced it. I'll be curious to see just how he responds.
And this is a crazy level to experience it on, right?
Yeah.
Because if you haven't lost up till when, it's either one or two people. See, in fights, like in boxing, it was always one or two people. It was the guy that could get his ass whooped and wanted to come back to get his ass whooped again until he could win. Or it was the guy that got his ass whooped and started questioning himself, like, should I even be doing this? If he could whoop my ass, then I know. And that's what it comes down to at Trevor, where it's like, this is your first time losing in life. Right. And it's on an NFL level. You have to be able to hold it together and want to keep coming to get your ass whooped.
In front of the world, because everybody wanted to see what Meyer's NFL debut looked like as an NFL coach, because all of the Trumpers were tuning in to watch Tebow. All of the eyes were on Jacksonville. And guess what? You failed on the biggest stage. Like, and it's preseason. So
not yet, right.
That's
not
being
yet.
dramatic. But like, for a preseason game, that game had a lot of eyes on it, and everybody's like, nah.
It seems a little foreshadow-ish.
Right.
It does seem a little foreshadow-ish.
I mean, so who else do they got left in preseason? Jacksonville. Oh, they got the Browns this week. That's an ass whooping. So there's another loss for Trevor.
Wait, we didn't. I thought they came out against the Browns.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, yeah, they did.
They did.
They won that game, though. What up? Oh, my pooter in the gang.
Yeah, it's the only way I'm gonna be able to even get anything done.
Listen, she might know some shit.
Right. What's going down though?
Nothing.
What's up?
We were just talking about.
I need to switch it on. Okay, there we go. Now I can see everybody.
Okay. We was just talking about the rookies. I didn't make my point quite yet, but Trevor Lawrence and Zack Wilson, I noticed, right?
Yeah.
Both of these players are in the same situation, of course, where you're expected to produce directly out the gate for your team, right? Yeah. Zack Wilson looked so very comfortable. You shut up, Pooh. He looked so very comfortable, right? But I noticed they only played him for like 3/4 of a quarter.
Yeah, I mean, it's because, he's being treated as a straight up, he's starting out gate. So they treating him like how all the other starters is getting treated. They not about to play around with that, man. Like, they don't want, like, they not going to give him that much playing time because they like, listen, you trained to go for week 1. They don't really, I think,
really, the
that's
real
the same thing they did with
starters,
Trevor, though, right?
I mean, what I will say is the real starters, the quote unquote veteran starters, they didn't play.
Yeah, they didn't.
Or they played.
Well, you can't afford that. That though. See, to answer your question, they did it with Trevor, but Trevor at least played the full first half. Now, my thing is with players like that, where you're a rookie and you kind of got to develop to the pace of the league, it's a fine line where you don't want to risk injury, but you want to get in-game chemistry down. You can't get that chemistry down in practice. You have to get it down in the game. So I'm wondering how far, like in these next couple games, they let it go to where they play him. Because that just wasn't, I don't care how good he looked, and he did look good. Speaking of Zack Wilson, he did not get enough reps. He didn't get enough reps with his team.
I think what it is, though, is that he's getting those number 1 reps, but I think they still got to try to figure out, what the rest of the lineup is going to be as far as the 2s and 3s in the quarterback room. So I think since they already know who their clear-cut one is, it's like, all right, I'm pretty sure he's going to play, probably like a half next game or something like that, and then they'll let the other guys hash it out.
That's a good point. I wasn't thinking about that.
Because we got one less preseason game now this year, too. You got to remember that. It's not 4 games anymore, so they like, listen, you're gonna start out. We already know you the number 1 guy, so let's get you in there, just see a little something, and then figure out what the 2 and 3 is gonna be. That's what I think is going on. You know what I'm saying? As far as like the Zack Wilson,
that's exactly what's going on. I mean, that's standard for preseason, and it's really, preseason is not about the starters. It never has been. It never will be. Right. It is about the people that are in question. Right. If you get a rookie quarterback in particular, or somebody that you're expecting to step up and be a starter from day one, you got to give them as much time as possible because the speed of the game is just so different. I don't care if they played for a power conference in college or, the MAC. Right. At the end of the day, the speed is dramatically different. Everybody on the field runs a 4.4 or better. In college, that's not the case.
Right. Even the linemen be up.
Right.
A few of them.
I'm not saying 4.4 for the 300 pounders, but a lot of those guys are running 4.7, 4.6.
Right. That's what I was about to say about that 4.7 range.
I mean, shit. At fucking 250, I was running a 4.8. Like that's where you're at.
Right.
And that speed at that level it's hard. You can't mimic it. Period.
Right.
Right. I think though, like you said, I think he looked really comfortable, but if you look at the playing time amongst the rookies, you'll notice that all of the rookies that was really in not even QB battles, but there's not a clear cut number one. They got more playing time because they got a little bit more to prove versus the guys that. You Fields, Fields and Lance and Mac too. Yeah. I mean, he only played like one game in 2 years or something crazy, and still won number 3. So he got a lot. They got to get him the reps for real.
Right.
I mean, it's gonna be interesting to see, especially the way they got the lineup set up, where you got the Jets. We going against the Panthers, and the NFL, they know what they're doing with that type of stuff. It's like a soap opera. They gotta have these storylines. So you got Donald facing his old team, and you got the Cowboys, America's team, and then they going against the Buccaneers.
Yes.
Yeah, America's team. Yeah. And them dudes ain't been. Never mind. I ain't even gonna get into
it. We already hit the lack of relevance for the Cowboys.
Aikman.
Yeah.
Brent doesn't agree, but
fuck that Romo shit. And fuck that early Dak. Aikman.
Right.
They America's team. They always relevant, even when not relevant.
I mean, but Jerry Jones, he's the gift and the curse. I mean, until he croak over and die, that team is not gonna win.
And everybody said the same thing about Al and the Raiders. Like,
yeah.
You're right, though. I mean, what? Al got there with Gannon and let Gruden fuck him over. I'm not gonna say that on this podcast. But if I had money like Al and I owned the Raiders after what Gruden did to me, he'd have found a horse head in his bed. I know that much.
All right, Godfather.
You know what I'm saying? I'm Al fucking Davis. All I do is win.
What's the take? Update me on the take between what is it? It's Mac and
I was just about to say
Cam Newton.
Out my mouth. That little nigga was correct. Cam lost his job.
Damn,
I don't think so.
It's
Man,
done.
I think Mac is.
Yeah, he looked comfortable, but I still think it's Cam's job to lose still right now at this point. I think I think Cam should outplay him, just having a little bit more experience with the playbook from last year.
Right.
And really, he just got to get out of his own head and out of his own way. But, he is the prototypical Tom Brady-ish kind of thing. So Josh Daniels, the offensive coordinator, he know how to game plan around that better than he know how to game plan around Cam.
And I said it from jump about Cam. Cam was not the right fit in New England. I believe he's done. Personally, I believe he's done after getting watched twice. And I know he had COVID and all that bullshit, whatever.
He just don't look.
He was not the fit for New England the entire time he was there. It was a bad mix. It was a bad fit. He doesn't operate that way. And
I think he's never been the same. But I don't think he's been the same since he never dove in for that fumble in the Super Bowl. Ever since then, man, it was like broke his ass. Yeah, I think that was the beginning of the downfall right there.
You can tell it broke his ass because they pulled away in the later half of the game, and it was like all that for what?
Right.
And then you just break down and curl up like. I don't know.
I think that was the start of him overthinking.
That's what I think.
He really is his own worst enemy because he overthinks. He thinks so much, and Justin Fields does the same thing, and he has to be careful that he doesn't go down the same path. When they're just in their flow and just doing what they do naturally, what they know how to do, what's intuitive to them, they are great quarterbacks. Right. But when they get to thinking they want to make, they get to thinking that, so that they don't have, like we just talked about, they don't have time in the NFL to think. You got to let it go. You're going to have to go off of what you know. Right. They don't want to make that mistake. So they're holding the ball longer. They're missing their opportunity for the pass. And that's what's making him look way worse than what he really is. And he's overthinking.
Yeah, overthinking. If for a quarterback, overthinking is one of two things: doesn't understand the system, or doesn't have the confidence to execute.
Yeah, lack of confidence. Yeah,
that's what it is.
Right.
And again, like I'll look at the teams I've coached over the last 2-3 years. Quarterback was a big gap for us, a big hole, and it was because kids wanted to do their own thing. And the system does not allow that. Because try to do your own thing, you're going to get fucked up.
Yeah, and I think too for him, man, like the playing style that was his bread and butter. I don't think his body can take all that abuse anymore. No. And he's never really, he never really cleaned up his mechanics to just be a precision passer. So
that's what we were talking about before. I've been saying it. He was a running quarterback. They made him stop running. So that option that he always had helped him be himself. Like that's who he was. Like I can take off right now. But he was getting popped so much that the Panthers made him change his game. And when they did that, that's where he started overthinking. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and then he went to a Belichick system. Belichick runs his system. His offensive coordinators run his system. Belichick is probably the most over-controlling head coach in the league and has been for his entire career. If you don't fit the system, from a schematic perspective or from a attitude perspective, you will not last in that. Period. You do think
he has the right attitude.
Yeah, I think they said that.
I'm not saying his was an attitude thing. I'm saying for him, it's a scheme thing. I'm just saying for Belichick generally.
And then you got
right attitude for the system, or knowing or fitting.
Yeah, we said that they would have had to change it to put him.
It didn't seem like the right fit. And then you got to remember too, Cam, like that he was always complaining about like the refs don't call roughing the pass or nothing like that on him because he's always running the ball. So when he's back there in the pocket, he's getting hit like a running back. No other quarterback they wouldn't let get hit like that.
He's
taking outside. He's taking abuse even when he's not.
They were tearing him up, especially when he was in Carolina. They were popping this man, and I actually think it's because he is big. Same thing with LeBron. Yeah. LeBron's 6'8". Cam Newton is 6'6", I believe.
And he's a big the same way though.
Yeah, he's a big guy, and they were tearing Cam up to the point was like, come on, like it was like ridiculous. Some of the calls that they didn't give him.
As much as I don't want to make the comparison to Roethlisberger doesn't get a ton of calls either because he's a bigger guy.
Yeah, it doesn't look as brutal when they get hit. They try to keep going.
Exactly what it is.
Hey, it's hard to be. It's hard to. I feel like he's a bigger guy, and it is hard to bring Ben down. But they were popping Cam's legs, and I think that's what you know what I'm saying? Like,
no, back in the day, that's what we did to quarterbacks.
Yeah, that's the Tom Brady rule. They don't give him that Tom Brady rule.
Somebody hit Tom Brady like that, they'd be throwing all types of
flags. He's the golden boy. It was the same thing with
I mean, not even Tom Brady for real. Anybody,
he's the one that got the game changed.
Right.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, I remember that. I remember that game.
Got the game changed.
That was against the Chiefs, wasn't it? Like I want to say it was the Chiefs or something like that took him out for that whole season. I think that's when Matt Castle came in. They still won like a.
You are correct.
Because they lost.
I don't know about the game.
Yeah, they didn't get. I don't think they made the playoffs, but they still was like 11 and 5 or something like that year with Matt Castle.
Listen, I don't know. I know it was a decent year. But yeah, no, I do remember what you're talking about. I don't remember what game it was.
They changed the whole rule around that.
He changed that for it. But I mean, nah, I can't.
That's where the quarterbacks is where the money at. You know, the real golden boy now is Patrick Mahomes because they not trying to let nothing happen to him.
Yeah, I think he's.
It's still time. It's still time. Tom's still the.
Tom is like the damn. He's like the damn vampire, man.
But you gonna look up and see black and white pictures of Tom Brady with a
right, the Civil War
in his hands.
The old
right. With the tap
man. I think he's from the mountains over there in the Oregon, in Utah, wherever that shit was going on. And what was that show called? Twilight. He was one of them dudes.
Stupid.
Talking about he was. Yeah, for real, man. I mean, what he's doing is crazy though, but he's sacrificing a lot from what they say. Like, dude is eating avocado ice cream, and he probably put millions. Yeah, he probably put millions of dollars into his body a year, though. You know that.
Yo,
right.
I would say beyond millions. I would say almost tens of millions.
A year?
Hell yeah. When it comes to like trainers, the equipment, you got to think LeBron and them got the cryogenic chambers in their house and shit. You think Brady doesn't have shit?
The aquatic treadmills.
All that. You think Brady doesn't have all that shit in his shit?
No doubt.
Upkeep, payment. I guarantee you he's getting close. I wouldn't say tens, but he's getting close to that number a year. And when you making what you make, why wouldn't I?
Right.
That's a fraction. Man. That's like an 8.
I don't know if I would spend tens. I think they said LeBron spends about $3 million a year or something like that on his body. So I'm thinking
he's younger. Brady, he doesn't need as much yet.
Brady probably right around there. I wouldn't put it past $5 million.
But
you know what I'm saying?
LeBron has a little bit more. It's crazy to say he takes a little bit more stress
or impact.
His body.
Yeah, because you're not allowed to.
I mean, basketball is a lot more.
Right.
All right, hey.
82 games.
You hopping off?
Yeah, I gotta hop off. So before I go,
who's hitting?
My hit the showers goes to Cam Newton. It's time to hit the shower.
He's going with the whole point from the 7-on-7s.
Make him eat his words, Cam. Make him eat his words.
Cam.
I'm rooting for
Mac
Cam.
Mac Jones does not beat him out.
He going with the dude from the 7-on-7. Oh no! Listen, what happened? They done did us dirty. Y'all want by myself. Solo dolo trying to join back up. I can't believe this. Just like the white dude to ruin the time. It's like, nah, I'm playing.
Yeah, not sure what happened.
He didn't kick the whole squad off.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it looked like when he got off, that's when everybody just got kicked out.
I said, just like the white man to ruin a good time. Golly, Mike. I hope you hear this. I hope Brett join back up.
Yeah, man. But in Zach we trust, man. I got a feeling, man. I know your pops was saying it already, but our defensive line is beastie. It's official, and I believe our offense. I mean, they got us ranked like 30th right now on offense, which is cool. Whatever, right. But I know we're gonna be way higher than that.
Nah, we're gonna be way higher. I think y'all gonna shock some people this year. I really do. The question is, because let's be honest, Darnold was comfortable back there coming out the gates too.
Nah,
he was comfortable. He was comfortable doing a lot of stuff he wasn't supposed to be doing.
Nah, he wasn't.
Prostitutes and whatever was giving him mono.
I mean, he wasn't comfortable behind the line. Darnold ain't had nothing. He don't got nothing compared to what Zack Wilson got right now starting out gate.
But you don't remember that? What was it? The interview after the
mono?
Nah, it was before all that. It was like the first 2 games in the league or something of that season that he came out and he was talking all that shit. Like, I don't know why I didn't go number 1 and all that crazy. You don't remember that?
I think he's gonna redeem himself in Carolina.
But ain't that what you're supposed to say though?
Yeah.
No, you are. And being in New York at that time, you can say that and still take L's, but I just feel like he jumped the gun.
He got put into a really bad situation.
Nah, that's not jumping the gun and saying, I don't know why I didn't go number one. No, he thought he was
going to take off. He thought he was going to take off, and then the tables turned real quick. And
I was that team.
Right, and you heard his ass get real fucking quiet. You blame Romano if you want to.
Did you see how bad we was when he was out, though, man? I mean, it was one game we had -6 yards in the third quarter. Terrible, man. Some dude, I forgot this dude's name, the backup dude, Luke something.
No,
he was terrible, man. I mean, it was. We got the Josh Johnson and a couple of other dudes, like 2 other dudes, man. I can't.
But you know what, though? To speak on what you guys were saying, though, I didn't hate him as a QB. He kind of reminds me. Yeah, I didn't hate him as a QB. Like, I don't know where he's going to end up. But I would put him in like that middle grade category, kind of like where you put Andy Dalton at, you know what I'm saying? Like, or somebody of that nature. Like, I'm not calling, he's not a bum to me. Like, I would put him with the same capabilities as Carr.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I wouldn't, wouldn't. Because if you put Carr in New York, Carr didn't make it past the preseason. And I don't care what pick he was. They could have picked him at 3. If
until we got
in New York where he got to run for his life, they're not giving him a contract.
I was gonna say with all offensive line that we had, it was a wrap, man. Like, it wasn't nothing that you could do for anybody, man, in that situation. It was just really Darnold didn't get a fair shake. I mean, that's why, I'm rooting for him as far as Carolina goes, except for week 1, obviously.
Right.
But I want him to do good because he had 1 year of Todd Bowles, and he is about as dry as a cactus in the desert. And then he had Adam Gase, the worst coach I could think of in the last 15, 20 years.
By the way, I like Bowles.
You like him?
I don't like him as
he was a defensive coordinator.
Not a head coach.
Defensive genius.
Yeah,
wasn't nobody scoring on y'all. Wasn't nobody scoring on y'all like that. Y'all wasn't scoring, but people wasn't going ham on y'all.
But we talking about quarterback development. Like, if you're gonna have somebody like Todd Bowles,
that's right.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you're gonna have a head coach like that's a defensive-minded head coach, you gotta have a strong offensive coordinator or a strong QB coach. And that's what we were lacking. Plus, we didn't have any weapons on top of that, so he didn't have no one to throw to. Like, the one good dude we had, Joe Douglas at the time, didn't recognize his skills like that or whatever, and then let him go to Carolina. Roby. So, Roby Anderson. And
I like Roby. He's underrated. He's underrated.
And that was the only weapon that Darnold had at the time, and he let him go. And then, he had Crowder.
Slightly injury prone.
Right.
I like Roby more than Crowder, but.
So what you think he do in, I do. I think he's nice too. What you think he do in Carolina?
I think in Carolina, I think he's going to be way better than what he's already been projected as. I would say somewhere around like 65 to 68%. I still think he's going to be prone to a lot of interceptions. Yeah. I think with that system and the weapons around him and a decent offensive line, and he got Christian McCaffrey, so you got people going to have to respect the play action.
That's what I was going to say. That's going to be the key.
Christian McCaffrey is going to get him at least 300 yards off of screen passes.
But what I was going to say is whatever chemistry they build, I hope they have built some chemistry, because if they got some type of chemistry going, that's going to be a hard combo to stop just off of, what I'm saying, whatever they got going on. That's going to be a hard combo to stop. So, I do agree. He will be better in Carolina.
Routes.
Yeah.
Screens and wheel routes. McCaffrey, either stop and go, do what you do. I'm going to know when you put your hand up.
Right. It's just that he's still prone to throw those interceptions. He just do them bonehead moves. He got a lot of Fitzpatrick in him. Like, he could, what I'm saying? I don't know, but he was throwing a bunch of interceptions at USC. So hopefully, if he could get that out of his system, like processing the defense, or if he just gets jittery, I don't know what the hell he'd be thinking. Well, maybe he'd just be seeing ghosts as he said. But, Belichick make a lot of people see ghosts, so.
You stupid.
He might be like a Jameis Winston.
Who?
Ooh, I would hope not, but
who's the Jameis Winston?
Like
Darnold?
to me,
Jameis Winston is just immature. His
but listen to what I'm
interceptions come
saying,
from
though.
being immature. His mind process is just out there. Any dude that's jump up there and steal crab legs when you know you're about to go to the NFL, you just blow off. He's a little slow.
That's not really the worst thing somebody could do.
But
I think he was just being arrogant and trying to be the center of attention. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and we have all had moments that are probably not the best. We just didn't have nobody highlight them. So
we ain't have millions on the table neither.
I have completely forgiven him for that. Yeah, but that don't change who you are at that age. You know what I'm saying? Like I did a lot of goofy stuff.
Now, for the money that he was getting paid, you could have told me at 15, don't touch my dick, and that dick wouldn't have got touched. You hear what I'm saying? So I'm not stealing crab legs if I can stop an instinct that I have on a regular for that money.
He's a goofy. I don't even know if it's goofy, but it's just like he's like a silly. I don't even want to say. I don't know what the right word is.
Mean. I do know. He
got a part of him like that just make you shake your head. You know what I'm saying?
Attention, and it probably
his decision making. His decision making is just low.
His decision making is not always the
That's
best.
How he can throw. He can throw 30.
Like when they showed that him trying to hype his team up and he like licked all his fingers. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
Okay, you gotta Google it. This is like this one. He was like trying to do the team huddle, hype his team up, and he like sucked on all his fingers or something like that. Like
he was like he's about to.
Yeah, just like it was just like goofy. Like come on, man. But he just got that streak in him. But the point I was making was he'd throw you 3 touchdowns and then throw you an interception at the most inopportune time. And I'm just saying. Donald, not necessarily saying they're the same in that type of sense, but I can see him being the same way as in like, damn, I had the team in the game and then I just threw this interception at the worst time possible. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what I was saying. He can be like Jameis Winston in that sense.
But I think though, I just think that, really I'm not going to judge him until he gets this season under his belt. Then I feel like, all right, with this season under his belt right here, Donald, I feel like I'm not going to judge him really based off of, just, we talking about Adam Gase, man. Like, this dude alienates everybody. He makes his offense not player friendly. I mean, dude is trash. So it's like, I can't really judge Donald until I see him with something to work with. Like, give him something to work with.
How many years did he spend there? 4?
Who, Gase?
No, 3, right? He was only
3.
2 or 3.
3?
Yeah,
3. One with Todd Bowles and 2 with Adam Gase.
Right, they had 2 fucking management changes on his ass.
Yeah.
Like that's one reason why it's hard to judge a man because like you're changing everything that
the whole language
learned, right? Like I drilled it.
I mean, and you gotta think his first year, Todd Bowles got fired after his first year, so then he had Adam Gase for the next 2 years, and then he was injured, and then it was just
they haven't yet. It ain't never been no team. He ain't never had no weapons either. So y'all name some people, but they ain't no true weapons. You know what I'm saying?
Nothing at all. Our offense was the worst offense in the league.
He got a weapon now, so let's see what he does with a weapon.
Elijah Moore's looking crazy. Corey Davis.
I don't care what nobody say. He's better in Carolina. If he can't make it happen here, then you just a bust.
Yeah, at this point, if he can't make himself look better in Carolina, then it is what it is. He could have just got broken, man. Like NFL quarterbacks, it's all about the situation you end up in.
You too young. He's too young. You can't be broken.
Young for what?
Man, Baker Mayfield just started looking good really last year because he got some stability in his life. Like the same thing with the Browns. You know what I mean? Offensive coordinator out, coach out, another one. He finally got some stability, and now you see the difference in his play.
But if you broke in 3 years into the NFL and you're still healthy enough to play, doesn't that kind of let you know I don't really want to invest in this quarterback?
Well, yeah. Well, maybe broken wasn't the word I should have used. I should say, he could
like traumatized
from the situations.
I don't think he's traumatized. I don't know.
Because I don't look at traumatized as broken. Like, you can be traumatized by a situation and still be just as good as you were before. It's just like, don't put me back in that situation.
Yeah, but you still gotta be into the right fit. It's all about the fit. Like, you know, if Patrick Mahomes would have came to the Jets, man, he would have still been good. You could tell, but I don't think he would have hit the potential that he hit now, because he got Andy Reid. He got all these weapons around him. He got stability. It's like, it's a sound organization. Like, you got to get put into all of that in order for things to work. The only people that could really throw past that was like, who? I can't even think of the last person that really went to a bum organization and
did something as a QB.
Huh?
And did something as a QB. No, you're right, because you got to get accustomed to winning too. Like, listen, losing year in and year out, never making any noise, like, that plays a role. You almost become accustomed to that, to where, like, your standards are not as high. You know what I'm saying?
Like, a big though. You said it. You put somebody in that situation, you put Mahomes in that situation, and he's not going to be as good as Darnold. And I agree. But I say, or with Darnold. Did I say Breeze or did I say Mahomes?
Mahomes.
You said Mahomes.
Okay, I wanted to make sure I said the right name. Or, and I put them both in the same category, maybe that situation makes you a better quarterback for when you get to a better situation.
I would say yes, if you only spent maybe a year there. Like I said, 3 years of losing, I don't think that is going to make you a better quarterback for when you get in those situations, because now you're not accustomed to that pressure. You're not accustomed to that level of intensity and having to get your team over the hump, because you just spent 3 years losing. You're like, it's okay to lose.
No, you know what I'm saying? I completely understand what you're saying. I was just speaking more from a standpoint of experience. If you come from a Jets backfield as a quarterback, you can trust and believe there's nothing that Darnold hadn't seen coming at him. Right. There's nothing Darnold has.
He probably is going to be surprised at the amount of time he has to throw.
That's exactly what I'm saying. So when you're conditioned to be in a situation when you're so frantic at all times, I would imagine that his quarterback reaction, even that what we said, that feeling somebody coming from your blind side, I imagine he has all of that down. And being in a Carolina where he has more time, he'd be able to do a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that will work in his favor, but at the end of the day, I'm just saying, can you get them the win? You know what I'm saying? Like, can you get them the win when it comes down to it?
You're talking about just culture-wise, like being in a losing culture all the time.
Yeah, that matters, man. That matters.
You're right.
For sure.
But at least he wasn't in like a bad college. I mean, USC wasn't just winning championships, but they still had a winning history and, winning expectations. He just got drafted to a really bad, unorganized situation.
Man, listen, that stuff matters.
I was still for keeping Donald. I wanted to keep him, trade out of number 2. I ain't gonna lie to him. Zack Wilson looking nice though. So I'm like, all right, I get with the. Because I don't know, did you watch that? No, I'm pretty sure you didn't watch it. But they got a little mini documentary series on the Jets like draft and how they got. Yeah, it's dope, man. It's called Flight 2021, and it's like a 4-part series. It's on YouTube.
2021.
No, Flight 20 Flight. Like fly, Flight 2021.
I see. Okay.
Yeah, like takeoff, getting ready for takeoff. Yeah, but it just gives you a breakdown on Joe Douglas. Him bringing on Robert Saleh with the hire, then them going through the draft process. It's on YouTube. You can find it on YouTube. Yeah, they go through the whole draft process and you see what they seen as far as like with Zack Wilson and all that stuff. And now, and Joe Douglas been hitting on his draft picks. So now, I'm like, all right. But I still initially wanted to keep Darnold and be like, yo, let's just trade out the number 2 pick. And, get a boatload for him and just put hella pieces around. But they went the other route. And, I mean, so far, it looked like he all right. But, this is just one preseason game. I'm real anxious for, season to start, like week 1, let's go.
Speaking of that, since we were just talking about, like winning versus losing, a way that I think that is going to show up the biggest this season, but I don't think Darnold I think he'll do well. But coming from a winning culture, I think Trevor Lawrence is going to be I think he's going to have the hardest time adjusting because I don't think the Jags are going to come out hitting like that. You know what I'm saying?
I think
and like we talked about, he's not used to losing, and he's going to be out there getting popped. Like they're going to come for him. You know what I'm saying? Number one pick. I think he's going to have he's going to have the hardest time though adjusting to a different culture of always winning to now going on that losing streak. Right. So I say by the time they lose 4 games straight or something around, be anything special this year.
He's getting thrown out there, and he got a first time head coach, a first time professional head coach. Like at least with Zack Wilson and Robert Saleh, at least Robert Saleh's been in the NFL. He's been around the league. So, he knows that. But Urban Meyer is coming in there trying to pull some college stuff with grown men. That ain't going to work.
Trevor Lawrence, okay.
Yeah, we just talking about, she was saying how, that culture, that losing culture might take an effect on him. Because,
I think we're going to see
lose a lot of games.
Yeah, we're going to see it the most with him. Going from a winning culture to a losing culture, I think we're going to see it the most with him.
Listen,
I really do.
You should have went to Chicago or New York or somewhere where you could have made some money off some shampoo commercials because you ain't going to get too much marketing buzz down in Jacksonville. I guarantee you that.
Yeah, your career could get buried down there quickly. Like because he'll go from like the number 1 pick to just nobody really talking about him, especially if they losing.
Look at Fitzpatrick.
Ain't nobody going to be talking about him.
Nah, they going to talk about him because they going to talk about him or they going to talk about Urban Meyer. So they'll always be talking about him. And that may play on his mental because they're gonna be losing and they still gonna be talking about him. I don't think he's gonna be forgotten.
And you got 5 quarterbacks that came out in this draft class, so he's always gonna be lined up in comparison with all of them are gonna get talked about because I mean, even right now, if you watch, other, sport networks and stuff, that's all they talk about, like preseason. All right, let's watch the 5 QBs that came out. They don't even talk about the other games. They breeze over them and go straight to the quarterbacks and talk about what's going on with them and whatnot. But
he gonna catch some heat, man. He gonna catch some heat.
I don't think Urban Meyer is gonna be a good NFL quarterback. I mean, coach. Yeah, I don't think so. I think that's really gonna be what separates Trevor Lawrence's career from everyone else's. I'm like, that coaching situation just don't seem like it's gonna pan out well. It's too many people doing new stuff at once.
What I will say is Urban Meyer definitely, 1, knows how to win.
Yeah.
2, he's cutthroat in a non-inclusive way. You know what I mean? Like, he'll put people in place that he thinks are best, whether or not you feel like they're up for the task.
Yeah, you seen Tebow got cut too, right?
Yeah, I was about to bring that up. He looked clunky out there.
Man, what? They had to cut Tebow. We was watching the tape. Listen, I knew Tebow was getting cut when after the game
they showed that block.
They started. I mean, they showed the block so many times. I was like, he don't stand a chance. Like now, had he been somebody else, maybe they would have. They could have, just swept right by it, and he could have stayed on the team another week.
Was it where he led with his shoulder and missed dude?
Yeah,
he like barely touched him. Like, dude, what you out here doing?
Okay, I saw it in like the highlights, but I didn't see the playback, and I was like, oh my gosh, Tebow.
But it's Tim Tebow, so it's like he's gonna have that camera on him regardless. Like,
right.
Yeah, just because like it's so unorthodox for this dude to be going that long, and then all of a sudden your college head coach comes in. Now you getting the shot. A lot of people was upset that he was even on the roster. Period. And
that's the thing too. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say like that's the thing. Like I like Tim Tebow, and my thing is, the spotlight is on you. So why would you get out there and do that? You would have been better off not going in for the play. You know what I'm saying? Like knowing you got a block, like you would have been better off not going in for the play, coming up with something. But it's just like if you know that all eyes is on you and you do that little half-ass shit, like come on, man. You gotta know that going in. Like my thing was this for show? Did you really want it? Because I feel like watching him, I thought he really wanted it.
They ain't letting
you know what I'm saying? But then But then when I seen him playing, I'm like, he don't really want it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Maybe this was a gimmick to get some attention on the Jags, but
or maybe to get the attention off Trevor Lawrence.
Lawrence and
but it couldn't
Urban.
have been a gimmick because he wasn't doing bad in his baseball career.
Right. I thought he was using them more as a mold so he could kind of keep tabs on what's going on in the locker room, like a little neighborhood snitch kind of thing.
Oh.
Maybe so, man. Maybe so. Because I'm like, but I just felt like even if he was, I mean, I just felt like it was whack for him to go out there and play at that with that type of intensity, with that low intensity. And it's like, man, you making the Jags look bad and you making the organization look bad. So why you even, you know what I'm saying? Like, you making Urban look bad and he ain't even coached his first professional game yet. You know what I mean? So it's just like, why are you doing that? Because now he kind of lightweight, Urban kind of looking stupid. Like, why you even bring this dude on? It's another man out there really wanted it. You know, could have tried out for tight end. You got Tebow out here.
Routes. He was doing
like he couldn't wait to get out. He couldn't wait to get out the play. Like
they had to see all of that in practice.
Right.
And still put him in the game. So, and then what was that racist dude that Urban Meyer had tried to bring on from Iowa?
Yeah, I know he talking.
Who had all types of he had all types of little. Yeah, that one coach, like, and they said it as soon as he, like, why you gonna bring this dude in here? Like,
City in Jacksonville. That you ever been to certain parts of Florida? Fit right on in. Fit right on in.
But them dudes in that locker room is like, nah, bro, go on with that.
But
bullshit.
listen, that also gave him a contingency plan. So when he say the defense didn't look up the see if y'all stay with my pick. Y'all can't blame that on me because I had the dude that was going to get it together and y'all let him go.
Yeah, he was about to be out there on that.
Nobody about to deal with that racist joker.
No, I agree.
He probably would have got him fired up. What's that movie from that Disney movie?
Remember the Titans?
Remember the Titans? Yeah, he's about to get them fired up.
That was the black coach, though.
No, but I'm saying it would have been the white version. Get out there, you niggas!
Listen. No,
it would have been ready to hit for real. Urban knew what he was doing.
Yeah, right. They would have been hitting that coach on by mistake. So they would have got close to the sideline. Tripped and fell.
The trail's free well.
Going down. They're gonna be like, why don't you ever pick your head up when you hit the side?
But you know you can't get over with no professionals with that. These is grown ass men. This ain't college kids that gotta play because they gotta, they like all these dudes is coming in here getting the check. Like, man, I'm getting paid whether I'm on the starting lineup or not.
And half of them got lawyers on retainer.
But even then though, like I think we may have talked about this a while back, like Urban gonna have to change his whole approach because it's different when you come into college. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got complete control over whether they got their scholarship with whatever university you with or not. You ain't got no control over these people. They in contracts. They here for the next 4 or 5 years or whatever it may be. Right. So it's like you look stupid if you decide so-and-so ain't going to play. You really can't. You really don't have that leverage. Report. You know what I'm saying?
You got to report to other people, too. You still got to report to a GM and an owner that's going to be like, yo, like, GM going to be like, yo, I just signed this dude for 14, 15 million. What you mean? Like, nah,
right. Yeah, you don't have that. So it's just like you got to.
Boss dog in Ohio State.
Of course.
Anywhere, not just Ohio State. Shoot, everywhere he went. He had that pool, that leverage. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like it's a whole different ball game because you don't have the same the automatic respect. So people were, there's players that probably listened to him that didn't necessarily want to just because it's like, listen, I'm not trying to mess up my scholarship or what I got going. I ain't going to try to have him edge me out to where I got to transfer to another university. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like he doesn't have that edge anymore. So he's going to have to really get out there and earn their respect for real.
Yeah, because these are grown men. Like, these aren't kids. Like, you know what I'm saying? You're dealing with 18, 19, 20-year-old kids that, you there to mold them. Like, you dealing with guys that, for the most part, half of your roster is, you know what I'm saying? They 25, 26, 27-year-old dudes. Like, they ain't about to be trying to hear all that shit.
I wish we had... I wish we was big enough that we had motherfuckers that would just do the memes for us. Because I would want a meme of Urban Meyer and, what's the boy's name? Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence.
In the Trading Places where they were sitting on the curb in the
Mortimer.
yeah, right. Because I feel like that they about to go down together for real. They're both going.
They
down
have
together.
to go down together. I can't see them because of them coming in together, straight from college. I feel like they will go down together. I can't see people separating them, unfortunately.
Well, I think Trevor Lawrence will still get a pass because him being considered a generational talent. You know, they say he was the most, looked at dude since Andrew Luck. So there's always going to be another offensive coordinator or GM that'll be like, man, if I got him over here, I could, I seen everything. Like, so he'll get way more chances than Urban to get.
No, I agree.
As far as like. Yeah, and then people was always gonna say, well, he had a college head coach out there. That dude ain't know what he was doing in the NFL. Because you remember Nick Saban came to the NFL and he was a beast and he was a dog in college. Right. He was not doing that good in the NFL and went back to college. Now look, he over there just running shit.
Or vice versa.
Right.
Harbaugh.
I knew that.
I was gonna say there's only two though, but Harbaugh left college and still did his thing in the NFL. And the only other person to do it like that from college.
No, I'm talking about him going back to college.
Oh, yeah. He shouldn't have left the 49ers, but I guess he wore out his welcome or whatever.
I don't know why he left the NFL. I mean, I get it because really, money wise, you probably make more money as a big time college coach than you do an NFL coach. And those contracts clearly are ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? Because what we talking about, he probably been there for like 10 years now. So ain't nobody you ain't getting no 10-year contract as the 49er coach. Even if you do last 10 years, you're going to have to produce. You ain't about to get no 10-year contract.
And for him, it might have been more of a control factor for him. It might have been like being able to go back and go on the road, recruit the kids and knowing that, you got sole control of everything. And then Michigan was probably, begging him like, please, like you can just do whatever you want. Just come. Whereas he probably was beefing with the GM in San Fran. So he like, man, I'm up out of here.
Listen,
clearly.
Nowadays, you ain't probably making... I mean, but it's not that far off of a drop when you look at what college coaches is making nowadays.
Yeah.
That's why we got so many college coaches that are refusing to come up.
Yeah. What's old boy name?
You're saying that college coaches make more?
They got more power. They be having more power. I think it's just
they make more
they're in a
than
lot of smaller towns.
And the power is worth the pay cut.
I don't know. I feel like I mean, I understand. I would probably prefer to be a college coach over an NFL coach because it's like in college, most of the time, depending on where you are, most of the time you get a longer run. You know what I'm saying? Your job is a little bit more secure. Like you can have one bad season in the NFL and you gone. You know what I'm saying? They typically don't do that in college.
But you also got the morality clauses and shit that you got to deal with in college that you do in the NFL.
Yeah,
you leading kids' lives in college. In the NFL, it's like these niggas is molded. I don't got. There's a lot
of responsibility. Yeah, there's a lot of responsibility being a college head coach because, it don't take nothing but one crazy thing that happened at a party with multiple players there. Now you got a whole scandal on your hands.
Oh, they've been covering that up for years.
Oh, that? They got a whole department for that. You know that.
Mm-hmm.
They call it the CSU. The College Scandal Unit.
Cover up unit.
That's the scandal. The College Scandal Unit.
Come on, bro. You want to give your little. You want to say what's up before Daddy get off?
Yeah. Wrap it up.
Come on, buddy. New Jets gear. So you can get on. Say hi to the world, Pootie.
Duders.
See Uncle Cliff.
Duders. What's popping? I know. Yeah. We will wrap it up. Right, we ain't got much else to cover. What was the last thing I did have? Oh, Mike left. I wanted to talk shit because the Bills and the Lions, he got the win by 1. But Mitchell Trubinsky did not, or whatever his name is, did not look too good out there.
Oh, Miss Trubisky.
Right. He did not look too good.
Are they expecting him to look good?
Right. Yeah, I mean, he's the two.
He's a bum.
I'm expecting him to do what he did before. I mean, Chicago was not a bad year. He didn't have a bad team. You know what I'm saying? So,
but before I go, I'm gonna give my hit the showers to Jacksonville offensive line because they look his ass. Trevor Lawrence gonna be running for his life the whole season.
Listen,
right, Pootie?
Or in that fetal position, holding on to the ball.
Right. I'm gonna piggyback off of him for my hit the showers. You know, my hit the showers is Tim Tebow. So it's right in the Jacksonville family. Tim Tebow and Urban Meyer for bringing them on. Like, come on, man. You can't afford, you know, unless you're not taking this serious and you plan on going back to college, you really can't afford to make those type of mistakes in the beginning of your NFL career as a coach. Tim Tebow wasting people's time. Right. So, you know, I mean, maybe he made a little bit of money off of endorsements because his jersey did skyrocket once they knew he was trying out for the team. So, like I said, my hit the showers goes to Tebow and Urban. You guys can split it this week.
You know what? They can't split it because I got to hit it out the park and give it to the whole Jacksonville just looks like a reality show trailer. It's just awful right now. And I'm wondering what this season is going to look like. So I got to give it to just Jacksonville in general. The citizens, the players, the coaches.
It's going to look bad
it this week.
I feel like I gave I gave somebody 4 games last week, but now I kind of want to give it to I gave it I give them more. Yeah, 5 or 6. So then I gotta give Jacksonville 4.
4?
Yeah, I gotta get him 4. If that, like I'm giving them 4 games. Seriously, somebody gotta lose every season. Somebody gotta do it. So I'm giving them 4 games. I'm gonna have to make sure the Eagles get at least, I'm gonna say 6 for them. I don't know what I've been saying, but I don't want to put the Eagles with
you said 5.
The Jags. So let me bump the Eagles up to 6, and then let me give
4.
Yeah, Jalen Hurts don't look that bad. I mean,
but I don't want to put them because I don't feel like I don't want to put the Jags with the Eagles, even though I don't like either team. I don't think they're going to do great. I don't think that the Eagles are going to bomb like the Jags are.
Getting 6. So. Yeah, but they're getting 6 with Flacco back there. They're not getting 6 with Hurts.
Well, then I'm giving them 6, and I'm giving the Jaguars 4.
No, boo.
Okay. Give me before we wrap up. Give me the Carolina, and we out. What y'all see Carolina doing?
I think they're gonna make some shake for real, man. I think they're gonna have their little brotherhood going.
They got a pretty good chance at least coming in second in the NFC South. I mean, I feel Bucket 11 and 6. I think that I'm gonna say 10 and 7.
I was gonna say 9 or 10.
I was leaning towards 10 and 7, but I'll give them the latter. I'll give them 11.
I'm somewhere between
second in the NFC South. Then, so you saying right. Buccaneers and then Carolina. What about Atlanta?
Atlanta ain't. They gonna be with the Jaguars.
Yeah, Atlanta ain't doing shit. Duder.
They gonna be with the Jaguars.
Who's hitting the showers?
Everybody in Florida except for the Bucks.
Dude, you hit the showers because you froze up. I was trying to give you a 15 seconds of fame, and you froze up. Been talking all episode till now. Duder.
Booty.
You're done.
Tell them to hit the showers, Booty. Say hit the showers, Boo.
Say hit that motherfucker.